Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Adrian, and this is Always Talk Money. I like to talk money as it relates to everyday life. Now, today we've all seen about the death of the American middle class, right? And that's what I want to talk about. We're going through a recession. There's a lot of economic turmoil going on, not only in America, but all over the world right now. Inflation is still very high. Feds are raising rates, lowering rates, whatever the case may be. It's just a lot. And we've all talked about or seen on the news in some capacity or another the death of the American middle class. I really want to challenge that today. And I think there's some interesting numbers that you guys might find very interesting and also very encouraging with regards to the death of the American middle class. Without further ado, guys, just leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. I want to get those subscribers up. Please and thank you if you don't mind. But with all that out of the way, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get into the video. Now, there's some numbers I want to run by you guys with regards to the death of the American middle class. In 1971, and this is according to a Pew Research article that I'm using in reference for this video, and as usual, I will link that down below in the description so you can check it out for yourself. But in 1971, there was a 60% American middle class, 14% upper class, and 25% lower class. And that's in 1971. Now, fast forward to today in 2021. This is accurate as of 2021. We're at 50% middle, 29% lower, and 21% upper class. As you can see from the numbers, the middle class has definitely shrunk from 60% in 1971 to now, fast forward to 2021, it's down to 50%. So the middle class lost 10%. But the interesting thing to me is the upper class went up by 6% and the lower class also went up by 4%. So that 10% was disseminated between the upper class and the lower class. And you know how people always talk about the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer. Well, technically, the middle class shrunk because some people migrated upwards and some people migrated downwards. And that's what I want to talk about. The middle class isn't necessarily dying. It's just the fact that people can either move up or down. That's where that 10% difference comes from. Now, as someone who is firmly in the middle class and trying to persevere and to reach up to the upper class, and I'm sure you guys are in that same boat as well, because why would you be on YouTube watching a channel called Always Talk Money? Because you're probably wanting to improve your financial knowledge, learn to make better decisions, learn to make investing. Because what I've noticed as someone who likes to watch these type of financial videos is you don't just watch one channel. You watch Graham Stephan, you watch Andre Jick, you watch a little bit of Dave Ramsey, you watch a little bit of the Money Guy Show, and so on and so forth. Because all those guys and all those knowledges put together, you can form your own opinion to move forward to improve your financial future. So I appreciate you guys for watching my channel as well if you do watch those other channels. To get back to the point, the middle class can shrink if we're having more people moving up. And in the last 30 years, we've had more people move up versus down. Now, 4% is still a high number. In a perfect world, we would have wanted the middle class to shrink by 10%, but the upper class to grow by 10%, right? But that's where life planning and life building skills is very important. And that's why I have this channel, because when you're planning your life, and especially the younger you start, you're able to invest more, you get more return with regards to compound interest, you make better decisions, and so on and so forth. Especially like if you're a young person going out into the world, you're probably going to get married and start to have kids. Marriage can ruin a lot of people financially, and a lot of people can move from upper class to lower class through a messy divorce and so on and so forth. So you want to avoid that. And how you avoid that is you improve your financial knowledge, you improve your financial outlook on life, you take personal responsibility for all of your finances, and then you meet someone who is in the same boat as you, and then when you join and you become one, you can go all the way to the top. Because make no mistake about it, people who are married do much better financially than people who are single. That's a fact. But it has to be the right marriage. Now, what's so interesting about 1971? Well, 1971, in case you didn't know, is when President Nixon moved America off of the gold standard and we were able to print more money, more in a liberal way. And, inflation started to increase, which, inflation isn't necessarily a bad thing. Too much inflation is a bad thing. too much deflation is also a bad thing. We tend to want to have like a 2% inflation rate. When we moved off the gold standard, we were able to print more money, and so inflation took over, and that meant that household incomes just skyrocketed. And in terms of the income range, lower income people went from 20K annual household income to 30K annual household income, so an increase of 10K. Middle income households went from 60K households to 90K households, and upper income households went from 130K households to 220K households. Now, that was a 70% increase. And you might ask yourself, why did the upper income people got way more in increase in their lifestyle and their income than the lower and the middle income people? I have a theory about that, and just follow me for a second. If you are in the lower income percentage, right, and you move up from 20K to 30K, that's definitely not life-changing money. It's money that can basically improve your living situation, but that's about it. You don't really have money to save, you don't have money to invest, you don't have money to go on vacations, you don't have money to get a nice car, and so on and so forth. You can just barely scrape by just doing the bare minimum to survive. So when you're in a lower income household, lower income tax bracket, it's harder for you to move up because you don't have any spare money or discretionary income. Now, when you're in the middle income bracket, it's not as hard as the lower income bracket, but when you do have that discretionary income, you want to reward yourself. That's what people in the middle income tax bracket tend to do, because they were probably most likely moving from lower income to middle income, and when they got to middle income, they were like, let's take a sigh of relief. We can maybe go on 1 or 2 vacations a year. We can have more than one car, so we're not having to share cars and so on and so forth. And we can move into a nice middle class neighborhood so the kids can have a nice school to attend. Outside of that, you can maybe put some money aside for retirement some far off into the future, but that's about it. So that's not conducive to really building wealth in a quicker way. When you talk about the upper income households, when you have 130K and you're moving up to 220K, that says to me that you have money to go on vacations, you have money to live in a nice, decent neighborhood, but also, and more importantly, you have money to save, invest, start a business, and so on and so forth. That way you can really compound and multiply your net worth much more quicker. You can pay off the house more quicker. So it's not necessarily that the rich gets richer. That's technically on the surface, but if you look a little bit deeper, middle income and lower income people are so focused on survival, or so focused on taking the 1 or 2 vacations a year that they think they deserve because they've worked so hard. They're not thinking of upward mobility in the way of starting businesses, investing heavily, not just putting 2% just to get the company match so you can retire in 30 or 40 years. No, upper income people really put their money to work, and so it can multiply much quicker, much faster, and that makes them wealth-wise increase and increase and increase. And that's the crux of the conversation. Is the American middle class going away? I don't think so. The middle class is the bedrock of our economy. The things that we buy, the things that we sell, the infrastructures that we create, it's all catered to people in the middle class. How many Rolls Royces do you see rolling around town on a daily basis? Not many, but you see Hondas, you see Toyotas, and so on and so forth. So all those vehicles are catered to middle and lower income households. We do not have an economy that just specifically cater to rich people. And that's for a reason, because we need the middle class to keep spending money and keep the economy moving. The middle class is the bedrock of the American economy, so it's never going to go away. But what's going to happen is some people, if you're in the middle class like me, we're going to buckle down, we're going to delay gratification and try to endeavor to reach up to the upper class. And some people, they're not going to get it, probably going to figure it out too late. And then they're going to transition from middle class to lower class. And it's not all bad decisions. A medical emergency, death in the family, there are things out of your control that can really mess up the trajectory of a family's, finances and net worth going forward. But in my opinion, the American middle class is not going away. But what I want to do is encourage people to try to endeavor to reach up to the upper class, because even if you fall a little bit short, you're probably going to end up somewhere in upper middle class. There's nothing wrong in endeavoring to grow and do better and just try to reach the stars, or as far and high as you possibly can. Don't believe that you can't do it. This is what this channel is about, to encourage people that in life and money is all intertwined, and we can endeavor to do better in both circumstances. Now that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you liked it. Leave a comments below. Let me know what you think about this topic. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and I appreciate you guys for watching. New videos every Monday and Thursday, and until then, peace.